Namaste. Today we're going to go through a 1 hour roll and release class. So we'll be using a little ball. So you'll need either a lacrosse ball or you can use a tennis ball and a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you could use a large book. We'll be using the ball and the block to get into our muscles and our connective tissue. And if you do have any injuries, just be very mindful when you are rolling around the injury, so not to roll directly on the injury. And if you are also pregnant, just being mindful of the different postures. If you are pregnant or have high blood pressure, please do not hold your breath at any stage in the class. And if you are on any pain medication, it's probably not the best class for you, as the pain medication can mask the sensations. So once you have all your equipment ready, we're going to get started. Come and take a seat on your mat. You can come into an easy cross-legged position or any comfortable seated position you wish. And to start the class, we're just going to close down our eyes. We're going to start with some pranayama, so just some breath work, just to really center ourselves and tap into our parasympathetic nervous system. So we're always switched on and our senses are drawn to the external world outside of us, and often we're living in our sympathetic nervous system dominant state. So my hope for you is that within this class we can really tap into that peace within us and that parasympathetic nervous system, that calm. And to start this off, let's just bring our awareness onto our breath. So as you inhale, feel the belly expand, the ribs, the space around the heart. And the breath travels right to the very tips of the collarbones. And then it's a long, slow exhale out, emptying from the collarbones, the ribs, the belly. Feel the sit bones grounding down into the earth. The spine is straight and the belly soft. Soften through the jaw and the eyes. And just bring your focus onto the breath. You're practicing that single pointed focus. Maybe with each breath in, saying so. And each breath out, hum. So hum. I am. Or even just using the mantra of I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Just taking a few more breaths here. And then we're going to do a couple of rounds of box breathing. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Just 3 rounds. So finishing your last exhale, and then together let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. One more round, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a big breath in and a longer, slower breath out. Bringing your awareness back into your body, gently opening your eyes. We're ready to start our class. So we're going to start on our feet. So if you come to your feet, and first of all, we're just going to start with a forward fold so we can bring that awareness into our body and notice the sensations. Inhale, bring the arms up over, and as you exhale, bend from the hips, and then just allow the body to hang, the head, the spine. Let it all be soft, a slight bend in the knees to protect the lower back and the hamstrings if they're a little tight. Just start to notice how you're feeling in your legs and your back. We're going to revisit this posture after we've rolled out a few body parts. And then very slowly start to roll the spine all the way up to standing. And then the first place we're going to roll out is our feet. So we're going to grab the ball and you want to take it just the front of your foot, just under the big foot mound, under the big toe, under all the toes, the mound there. And then just gently start rolling side to side so to feel the release. I actually love rolling out my feet. They're always so tight and I'm very prone to plantar fasciitis. I know a lot of people that do a lot of running or high intensity exercise like jumping on their feet, plyo lunges, they can get quite sore. So this always feels really good. Just gently rolling side to side. And then if you do find a spot that you want to give a little more love, a little more attention, you can just pin the ball there and hold and then breathe. So just keep coming back to that breath. Nice, slow, controlled breath. Remember, we're not wanting to create excess pain in the body. We're trying to release the muscles, the fascia, the connective tissue. And to be able to do that effectively, you want to breathe into the spot. We want to keep ourselves in that nice parasympathetic state if possible. And just a few more rolls here. Oh, feels good. Then you can start to roll the ball along the center of the foot. I really like that. Oh yeah. And then come to balance on the ball of your foot, and then the ball will go underneath your heel. And again, just gently rolling from side to side. Might feel any lumpy little gristly bits under there. Give that a little bit more attention. In Ayurveda, we say a lot of self-love and a lot of self-care for the feet. So our feet, it's what grounds us into the earth. It's our foundation. It's like our feet are like the roots of a tree. A few more breaths. Nice. And then we're just going to go to the other side. So take the ball underneath the left foot or the other foot. I started on my right. And again, just at the top of the foot there, rolling side to side. If you find a space or a place in the foot that needs that extra love, just holding the ball, breathing there. I quite down towards the heel. Come to balance on the ball of the foot. And just rolling that ball side to side. I still like to play here with really spreading through my toes, really opening up through all of that fascia. And just taking a few more breaths. Nice. And then gently release the ball. And then just spread the toes, ground the feet down into the earth, really press them through. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Hopefully they feel nice and open now. We're going to make our way all the way down to our seat. So we're going to roll out our shin bones now. You can either do this in well, you can sit on a block actually. So grab your block or a book. If you don't have one, that's fine. Just sitting on the block, so the hips are elevated a little bit. So you can sit in this cross-legged position to roll out your shins, or if you prefer, you can come into a 90-90 position. So shin out in front and the other leg bent behind, so your legs are in a 90-90. I'm going to come into the cross-legged position. And then you're just going to take the ball just about 15 centimeters up from the ankle so that you're in a bit of the meaty part along the shin. And then I like to cradle my foot and gently rub up and down. So you're going along the muscle fibers, and then you can even move forward and back, so you're going across the muscle fibers. So we just want to roll around in one spot, and then you can start to move the ball up till you get closer to the knee. And if you find any stiff or sore areas, then just place a little more pressure there, breathe into it, and just start to feel that release. I did bring my little timer, so we're doing about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Haven't used it yet. We'll see how we go. Don't have a watch. Nice, and just keep moving the ball up. Beautiful. And then when it's right up the top, I like to really press in, breathe here. Nice, and then switching sides. So taking the other leg out in front, or if you're in 90-90, switching the other leg to the front. Again, just bringing the ball about 15 centimeters up from the ankle bone so that it's not on the bony part, but we get into a bit of the flesh. You can cradle your legs, start to roll along and across the muscle fibers. And just moving the ball up so that we're getting the whole length across along the shin bone up towards the knee. I really like it up this top end. I get a bit of knee pain in this knee, so it feels like a really nice release, especially when I just hold it there and breathe into it. Feel it sort of releasing all around the knee. And also just being mindful of the way you're holding your upper body and the rest of your body when you're rolling and releasing. A few more breaths. Nice. Beautiful. You can release that ball. And you can come off the block, the book. Just come down to your glutes. Just maybe give the legs a little tap out. We're going to start to work through the back of the calf muscle here now. So you can use the block with the ball on top of it, or just the ball if you like. And then again, just being mindful, you've got your Achilles tendon coming up here, so you want to sort of sit just above where you start to get into a bit of the meaty part, the muscle. And again, rolling across the muscle fibers and along the muscle fibers. So we're getting into our soleus and our gastrocnemius muscle, two muscles here. And you might find right there, a nice point where you can just apply that pressure, pin and hold, pin and breathe. Breathing deeply. Then you can also start to flex your foot, and flex. You get a little different sensations here. So pointing and flexing the foot. And then start to rotate the ankle in one direction and the other direction. It's really good to activate the synovial fluids in the joints and the lymphatic system, but also gives you different sensations on the roll and release aspect of the calf. Applies different sort of pressure. Just finding what works for you and your body, and then moving the ball and the block up until you get up behind the knee. Again, I really like it on that side because I've got that knee pain there, so it feels so good to release the calves. A lot of the time that tight calf tension can actually create like the plantar fasciitis type pain through the feet or knee pain, so it's really nice to release the calves. Again, especially if you do a lot of walking or running or climbing stairs. A few more breaths. So we're going to move it all the way over to the other side. I'm going to do the calf on the left leg, so just coming above that Achilles tendon. Placing into the calf, you can even start with the toes pointed and flexed, point and flex. And then taking some ankle circles in one direction and the other. And then when you're ready, start to roll across the muscle fibers. And then also moving direction to roll along the muscle fibers. And if you find a space or a spot in the muscle that you want to hold, and just use the opportunity in this class to really connect to that breath. So breathing deeply. Just finding that calm and clarity, I guess, amongst the chaos that you might feel in the muscles. Oh, there's a spot. So amazing how you can find one small spot in one area of your body and it completely releases somewhere else. Like I'm really got a spot here that I'm really holding that ball into, and I can feel that, like my foot just feels light, feels really good. And then moving along, you can just shovel your butt forward or you can move the block and ball. So so that you can get to the higher calf. If you do lose a ball, it's absolutely fine. It happens to me a lot. Now we just want to find the edge, so we don't want to be too rough with ourselves. Remembering that this practice is one of self-care. It helps to prevent injury and pain. It can also help to treat it. It's not here to harm our body, but rather show it lots of love and care. We bring a bit of softness into our practice. And just taking another couple of breaths, and then we're going to move to our hamstrings. So I want to give the legs another little wiggle out. And so with the hamstrings, we're going to take the block and place the ball on the block. Again. And then you can bend up the other knee if you like. Now if you've got really tight hamstrings, you will feel this one. Roll off. So you can also use your hands to elevate your hips so that you can gently rock back and forth. And then you want to go right across the hamstring the whole way. The hamstring's made of 3 muscles, so you want to get into all 3. And right up to the top near the insertion. And then rolling along the muscle fibers as well. So if it's too much pressure with the block, you can always just take the block away and just place the ball down on the earth. Again, moving your legs side to side, or pressing through the hands, elevating the hips and rolling along. I actually like it with the block. Just a few more breaths. Then we're going to move over to the other side. So again, on the block or on the earth with the ball, elevating the hips, making sure that you're rolling both across and along the muscle fibers. And you can control the pressure. Taking a few more breaths on this side. Whether you want to pin and breathe or keep rolling, it's up to you. Just listening to your body and what it needs. And remembering we don't need to go too hard or too fast. The practice of roll and release and in yoga is just going to your edge. One more full breath in And a long breath out. Yes. Very good. So, we're now going to move to our glutes. Roll and release our glutes. And then once we've done the glutes, we'll come back to our forward fold so we can retest the forward fold, seeing how we feel now that we've rolled out all through the legs and the glutes. So for the glutes, I'll come to the side. You can either lay down on your back, so come all the way down onto your back, and then make the figure 4 position with your legs. So maybe taking the left leg across the right, and then taking the ball and then just placing it in your glute. And here you can start to roll around on that ball. And again, if you find a spot that needs that extra love and attention, you can just hold and release. But another, just before you do that, it's always nice just to press the knee away first, just to get a little bit of opening through the hips, and then place the ball in position. Well, the other way is to press into your elbows so that you're coming onto your hands and place the ball under. And then you can use your hands as well to help you mobilize around that ball. This is a little bit more intense this way. I like it like this. My glutes are so tight. Oh, and then you find a really good spot that's saying, yep, I need to be released. And I just hold and control that breath. So really breathing in. Often when we hit pain in some sort of way or an uncomfortable feeling, whether that's in our body or in our mind, our breath becomes really shallow. We start to breathe into the top part of our chest rather than getting the breath right down towards the lung. And we know that our breath, it invites oxygen into our body, and oxygen is food for prana. And prana is life force energy. So simply by breathing properly, we fill up all of our cells with that life force energy. And so the glutes are the biggest muscle in our body. So we really might want to spend a little bit more time here and really exploring. Well, certainly one of the biggest muscles in the body. Few more breaths on this side. Remember, you can always lay down to do this if this way is too intense. And when you're ready, just gently release the ball. Maybe bringing the feet to the earth. Just taking the knees side to side, releasing through the hips. For some people, it could be quite a big hip opener, being in that number 4 shape as well. And then we're going to come to the other side. So choose your option, whether that be laying down on your back to start with, taking the right leg now across the left, and just opening up that hip first and breathing here. Like I said, some people might be really tight through the hips, so even just giving it a little more time to open and breathe. And this might be enough for you, placing the ball under your glutes here. Otherwise, you can start to draw the chin to chest and press yourself all the way up to your hands. And then place the ball under your glute. can start, roll and release. This side is a lot tighter. I really compensate on this side of my body because of my right knee. So sometimes I notice when we have injuries, we compensate in another area of our body and that becomes really stiff and tight and sore. That's a good thing about roll and release. It really allows us to explore our body and explore how we feel and how the muscles are. We start to pay a lot more attention to each little area. And then if you find a spot that needs a little bit more love, just really hold it there and breathe. Even closing, I like to close down my eyes. I can bring my breath and my awareness to the release. And just taking a few more breaths on this side. And then gently release. As I mentioned, we're going to come back to our feet. We're going to come back into that forward fold, just so that we can see if you notice any difference in how maybe the pain, or if you had any aches and pains in the body, if that's subsided a little bit, or even if you feel a little bit more length in the legs. So let's take a big inhale, bringing the arms all the way up. As you exhale, bending from the hips, forward fold. You can take that slight bend in the knees if you wish. Just allow the head to hang, the spine to hang. And just feel through the back of the legs, noticing if by rolling out the feet, the calf, the hamstrings, they feel any different. And then grounding down through the feet, take a big inhale, bring the arms up overhead again. Open mouth, let it go. Beautiful. So coming back down to the earth. We're going to roll and release through our inner thigh and our quadricep, and then we'll go into our psoas. So we'll start with the inner thigh. So we're going to come down onto our belly. You can take the block out to the side. We're going to bend the knee so it's 90 degrees from our hip, and then take the knee onto the block, and then the ball just on the inside of the thigh above the knee. Then you can start to make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead. And here you can extend and bend the leg to help get into the inner seams of the leg, so to open up through the adductors. Whew. And then gently you can roll back and forth across the muscle fibers, along the muscle fibers. Then you might want to start to move the block and the ball along the legs. We're getting up towards the hips, towards the groin. So we're going to work right along the abductors, the inner thigh. Just keep moving the ball up. Be quite sensitive on the inside of the leg. So just taking it nice and slow. And just a few more breaths. Removing the ball and the block. We're going to stay on the same leg to do the quadriceps. So just taking the ball just above the knee. Again, you can make that pillow with your hands. And then you can start to bring the heel towards your glutes and then lengthen the leg out. Bringing the heel towards the glutes, lengthening it out, and then start to roll across the muscle fibers. And then moving the ball up. We want to work right up through the quadriceps. The quadriceps made of 4 different muscles, so you want to work right across them. And then if you do find a spot, just you can hold, pin and breathe. I really like the quadriceps. I can feel it really releasing my knee. The really tight quadriceps can pull on that kneecap and create some discomfort. And a lot of the time we're quite quad dominant with all the activities we do, the squats, and often our hamstrings can become a little weaker. The quads also become very tight. And then keep moving the ball up towards the hip. And just got a few more breaths in this pose. Even place the toes on the earth and just internally and externally rotate that hip around on the ball. Nice. And then you can release the ball. So we're going to go to the inner thigh on the other side. I'm just going to turn around. You don't have to, so that you can see what I'm doing. So again, we bring that knee up to 90 degrees. You can place it on the block. If you don't have a block, that's okay. Just bring it up and place the ball just above the knee. And again, you can start to extend and flex the knee. And breathe. way to discover if there is any imbalances in the body. Just noticing how you feel from left to right. And even just taking notice of your range of movement in each of these different positions that we're getting ourselves into. Ooh, that's a good spot. Well, that feels good. Nice release. And just moving the ball up along the inner thigh to get up towards the hip crease. Just taking a few more breaths here. And then releasing the block and the ball. Oops. Coming over to our quadriceps now. So taking the ball just above the knee, start to flex and extend the knee. And then moving from side to side, moving across those muscle fibers. Working right the way through. And then just moving the ball up. And just taking a few more breaths. I'm going to release the ball. And then we're going to work into the psoas, the sartorius. So just above our hip bone, or where the hip bone is, the pointy bone, we're just going to move in a few centimeters towards the belly button. We're going to place the ball there on the block. And so we're just going to basically pin and breathe in this one. It can feel a little sensitive. I actually really like this one. So find the spot first. Again, you don't need to use a block. And then come down to lay your head onto the earth. And then just breathing in here. It might feel a little awkward, a little funny, sort of laying on the belly, that area. But our belly actually has a lot of connective tissue and a lot of our lymphatic system in our belly. It's a really not often place we work a lot through these sort of stretches or roll and release style classes, but something that's super important. But the target here is more so the psoas muscle. And it's one of the harder ones to stretch a lot of the time and often gets quite tight in a lot of people. This is a really good pose. And just focus on your breath here. Take 2 more deep breaths in, followed by a long breath out. And then inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And bringing your hands beside your chest so you can press your way out of that pose, and then coming to the other side. So again, hip bone in from the hip bone towards the belly button, place where the ball placement will be. So you can place it on the block or on the earth. You may wish to do a few wiggles from side to side, but then I just like to pin and breathe. Full deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Three more breaths. One more full breath in, long breath out. And bring your hands beside your chest so you can press yourself all the way up. Nice. So now we are going to come and do our lower back, and then we're going to work up through our mid back and to our upper back, and then we'll finish with our neck and then a nice shavasana at the end. So let's come down onto our back. I'm going to take the ball and place it just above our iliac crest. So we're going to come into our lower back on the right side to start with. Once you've found the spot, you can leave the legs as they are, or maybe as you inhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest and give it a bit of a squeeze. This places a lot more pressure onto the ball, and it's a lot more intense. You can just hold and breathe in this spot. And just slightly drawing the chin to the chest so that you can feel the length through the back of the neck and the skull. And this is a really beautiful posture to focus on the breath. Just allow that release to happen on its own. Trying to force or dig in. Breathing into that release. And exhaling, allow the body to soften. Maybe just moving the ball closer towards the spine. This is a really good one for stimulating and compressing into the bladder and the kidney meridian lines. So run along the back body. It's a bit like acupressure, placing pressure along the meridians. or marma point pressure is what we talk about in Ayurveda. One more breath in, long breath out. I'm going to take the ball, lower the knee, the leg. And we're just going to go straight to the other side. So again, above that iliac crest, into the lumbar, the lower back. We're going to do the mid back a bit later, so just make sure that it's also the lower back. A lot of people have a lot of lower back pain. It's a really beautiful one to release. Also by releasing the glutes and the hamstrings can be really helpful. Again, on the inhale, if you did so on the other side and you wish to on this side, draw that left knee in towards your chest. So a really good position or posture for stimulating the digestive system. Just notice if you're holding tension anywhere else in the body. So if you're holding tension in the shoulders or the neck or the jaw, just release the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Even close down your eyes here. Just allow the eyes to be heavy in the back of the socket. And the tongue softly pressed against the top palate of your mouth. Breathing into the lower back. One more full breath in. And a long breath out. And gently releasing the leg, pressing into the feet, releasing the ball. So now we're going to do the mid back and the upper back. So we're going to take the ball and place it the bottom corner of our scapula, so our shoulder blade, and then towards the midline, so towards our spine. So we're working through now the thoracic spine, the mid back. Now if this is intense enough, you can just bring the hands down beside you or even straight up in front of you. And those who would like a little bit more, you can start to hug yourself. Bring the arms across the chest. It intensifies the position. And then again, just hold here and breathe into the spot. You're going to start to move the ball up probably about three points from here, so we can get along that scapula right to the up towards the upper back. Again, just notice if you're holding on to any tension anywhere else in the body. Just allowing the body to be soft, to release. And using your breath to guide you into your practice. Two more breaths. And then we're going to move the ball up a little bit. Again, you might find that this spot's intense on you, so you can bring the arms beside you or up above, or take that big hug. And then just breathing here. more breath. One more. And then moving the ball up towards the top corner of the scapula. Between the top corner and the spine. Again, your arm position's completely up to you, beside the body, up above, or taking that big hug. Really nice pose for opening up through the back body. Through the back of the shoulders. One more full breath in. Long breath out. And then rolling off the ball. So we're going to come to the other side. And just remember, turn around so you can see me, but just remember that we're starting at the bottom corner of the scapula, so the bottom corner of the shoulder blade, towards the midline, towards the spine. So taking the ball, placing it at the bottom corner. Hands beside you, straight up, or take the big hug. And then just remember which arm you had on top in your hug, so try to go the other way. It's good to test our brain. The right side of the brain actually controls the left side of the body. The left side of our brain controls the right side of our body. Just noticing if you're feeling different sensations, whether it's the right and the left side of the body. I know I'm feeling a lot more tight through this shoulder. Maybe it's the side I always carry my handbag on. One more full breath in. Long breath out. And then just move the ball up slightly. Still getting in behind or just beside that shoulder blade. Take the arms up, down, or across, giving yourself that big hug. One more breath in. Long breath out. And then moving the ball up to the top corner of the shoulder blade. Beside it, next to the spine. And get through the spine or extend some muscles. Release through that shoulder. And breathe. More breath. One more full breath in and a long breath out. And you can roll over to the right side so that you can release the ball. Now we're going to do our neck, and this is really good for anyone who gets those tension headaches. So you can get the block and place the ball on the block. I'll show you two different ways. Or you can use the edge of the block. This will lay down. And so you want the ball, just take it over to the left side, base of skull. So you don't want it in your neck down below, you want it sort of at the base of your skull, the occipital bone. And then just so gently, you can just sort of roll your head from side to side. Release through those extensors, through the back of the neck. We become really tight when we've got a lot of tension, a lot of stress going on. Just take a few more breaths. And then move the ball over to the right side. Again, making sure the ball's at the base of the skull, getting into those muscles. And just gently rolling side to side. Just a few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can release the ball and the block to the side. And then come all the way down onto your back. Allow the legs to go long, taking them as wide as the mat. The arms beside you, palms face up. And just start to do a body scan of the body. Starting from the head, just noticing your sensation, if you feel release through the back of the neck now. Start to soften your jaw, closing down the eye. Neck's long, feel spacious through the back of the neck to the skull. And a release in the shoulders. They just melt into the earth. Through the mid-back, the lumbar back. And the hips are soft but open. Glutes are relaxed, the hamstring, the quadricep. All through the back of the calves and along the soles of your feet. With each breath in, inviting more space into the body. And with each breath out, surrender and soften. Just taking a couple more breaths here. And slowly start to bring some awareness back into your body. Deepening the breath again. You're brushing the thumb across your fingertips. Making some slight movement, fingers, the toes. And then drawing the knees towards the chest, giving them a big hug in. And then rolling over to one side. Just take a moment there where you press yourself up to your seat. Come into a cross-legged position. Inhale, roll the shoulders back and down, find a length in the spine. And we'll seal the class together by taking a big inhale, bringing the arms up overhead. Hands to prayer, down to your third eye, to honor and trust your inner wisdom. And down to your lips to always speak your truth, and to your heart for love and compassion. Namaste. Thank you.